Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. Before we get started today, if you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. Now, if you're listening to this on our audio platforms, please give us a 5-star rating. Please download the episodes and also please subscribe. I'm very thrilled to welcome this actor and model with us today. He plays Matt Press on Ginny and Georgia on Netflix. And as of this recording, he has over 54,200 Instagram followers. Please let me welcome Damian Romeo to the podcast.
Thank you so much for welcoming me to your podcast.
You're so welcome, Damian. And I am so sorry. I thought I said put Romero. It's Romeo. I'm so sorry.
Honestly, it happens all the time to me. Because my last name is Italian origins, people sometimes say Romero. I used to say Romeo because that's how it's pronounced. But now I just stick with Romeo. It's the easiest.
Absolutely. I think that's definitely interesting. In fact, there was a very famous legendary voice cast director. Her name was Andrew Romano. And she did all the voice casted all the Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Justice League. That's the reason why I got Romero in the thing. So I apologize.
That's okay.
Alrighty, and let's get started with our conversation, shall we? So, when did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve into the desire to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
Well, it started when I was very young. Like I'd have to say 5 or 6. My grandmother, she's really passionate about the arts, so she would force me and my brothers to enroll in music classes. So we learned piano, guitar, woodwind, string, a lot of instruments. But when I turned about 8 or 9, I was getting sick and tired of skipping Saturday morning cartoons for music lessons. So I told my grandmother I don't want to do music anymore. And she said, well, you have to pick an art. And I can't really draw too well. So I I'm back.
Yeah. You.
I decided to try and get into theater, because for theater I could kind of explore that art form. And then I did that, and I played a tree in a earlier theater presentation, and it went up from there. I just fell in love, really.
That's amazing, because I'm also a theater kid as well, 5th grade to 12th grade.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, when I was really young, it was just this control of my imagination. Like my mother used to tell me all the time that I was such a great storyteller when I was a kid, and with theater, it gave me the power to become any character I wanted, and I just had so much fun with it that I knew I was in love at first sight.
Absolutely. Theater is always great. I love theater. So, you were also a model as well.
Yeah, I briefly modeled. I mean, I remember when I first started, it was more of someone saying, dude, you're really tall. And I said, yeah, I'm about 6'4". And he said, you should try running or walking for runway. And then I did start walking for runway just for fun. It was kind of just a pastime and also a conquering of your fear. So yeah, I did that. It was just kind of for fun. I didn't really pursue it professionally. I didn't have like a strong passion towards modeling. But yeah, it was interesting for sure.
Yeah, I know a lot of fitness models as well. It's very interesting to hear about their side. And it's like, no matter what, it's always something on your resume that you can always talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I did get some really cool photographs for my social media, which was kind of a benefit. But yeah, it wasn't something I wanted to pursue professionally.
I totally understand. Totally understand, Damien. So, in addition to working as an actor, you're also a reserve soldier for the Canadian Infantry Army. So, could you share your most memorable experience with that organization with my audience?
I loved um, I loved giving back to my community and to the people of Canada. I think we're all called to do things in life, and I think it's very important that when an opportunity comes up, that you take that opportunity and you give back. And I'd have to say I enjoyed my experience in the Canadian Army, and my favorite parts of the Army was the training. I really loved being pushed to my limits, and I find it when everyone else is getting tired. That's when I start to have the most amount of energy, and that's when I feel challenged, and so that's when I really start to enjoy myself.
That's amazing, and that's amazing. I also give back to my community. I've been working for my nonprofit Jewish Family Services for the past year and a half, so I definitely know what it's like to give back to my community.
And you know what it's like to push yourself. I saw your deadlift PR of 170 or 275.
No way you saw that.
I was like,
That's amazing, Damien. That's incredible, guys. For those of you who do not follow me on social media, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, on my Instagram, Jacob Elyachar, showcased a deadlift of myself at my gym, Kansas Athletic Club. Go shout out to them of doing my one rep max PR for deadlift of 275.
and it was clean and good form.
Well, coming from you, that means a lot, Damien. That means a lot. So thank you so much.
No, no problem.
Yeah, so I definitely thank you so much about that. So let's talk about some of the challenges that you face breaking into the entertainment industry and how did you overcome those obstacles?
Uh, for acting is a very difficult profession in general. I mean, so many people want to try their hand at it. Sometimes it involves a little bit of luck. It don't always involve hard work. And coming from Canada, I find even though Canada's film industry is picking up, the roles that we do have and that are offered to Canadians are very limited. And it's very hard to break in as a Canadian actor. Um, yeah, it's a very challenging career, but nonetheless, challenges make the reward feel so much greater.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's very interesting to hear because I hear a lot about with the American acting industry. There are parts, but it's like one people get the same people get the same role, but others at the same time, they're worried about once they have that role that makes them successful, they're worried about being typecasted.
Right. I mean, you know, I think that it's very complicated. I mean, navigating the industry is very tricky, and I think that you have to know that before you get started. Um, and that you could get lucky. Like some actors, they get lucky, they book great roles, but to stay in the industry, I feel like is the bigger challenge.
I definitely think so as well. And because I've noticed a lot of US shows have come over to Canada to shoot. I'm thinking about the CW shows, and I thought about Once Upon the popular ABC series that's on Once Upon a Time, which is now on Disney Plus. So it must be like, is there two separate rules, or there's one rule for everything when it comes to acting on productions in Canada?
I think in general, what they'll do is they'll cast American actors as their leads or their principals. And then when they come to Canada, Canadian actors get cast as the smaller characters, the episodic characters. In general, that's what I've seen happen so far. And that's why it's one of my biggest goals right now is to get my visa for the States so that I can audition for projects being shot in the States. I think if I can just get that visa, then it would open up the doors really to an entire market that I can't fight with right now.
And here's the thing, Damien. I know that you're going to do that because if you served in the Canadian infantry, I know you can break in and work in LA or work in New Orleans or work in Atlanta or NYC.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's been a hard road for me professionally, but at the same time, I don't regret my life and my decisions that I've made. I think that the last 8 years of my life, or almost a decade that I've been acting professionally, even if I see a tiny bit of success, throughout the last 10 years, I've spent all my time kind of developing who I am as a person. And I think developing yourself correlates with your craft as an actor. I think a well-rounded actor has to have more life experiences than not. And I think that in the long run, it will help me, especially for my performances and the characters that I pursue to play. Thank you. Thank you for that comment.
You're so welcome. And let's talk about one of the characters you're playing right now, because it is Matt Press. And oh my God, when I said Matt Press, I'm like, oh my God, there's a character named Matt Press. It was like Matt Press. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's so weird.
Yeah, you can call me Mattress too. I mean, I'm big, so.
Oh no, seriously. So this is known as a mysterious character. It's a Netflix's Ginny in Georgia, which is in its second season. So first of all, how did you hear about Ginny in Georgia?
Actually, it occurred just like any other audition. I got the breakdown, I read the role, I did my work on the character, I performed the audition, and then I got a call back, and then I got booked. I honestly, when I first read the breakdown, they were looking for a teenager, and because I'm so tall and I'm much older than a teenager, I thought, oh, there's no way I'm gonna get this role, but I'm gonna perform to my best ability, which all actors know. It doesn't matter if you don't think you're getting the role, or if you are getting the role, you just do your best, put your best foot forward. So I did that and got a call back, and then I booked the job.
And that's incredible. So could you describe about what Matt's role is to my audience without giving away any spoilers?
Well, Matt Press is a part of the friends group that attaches itself to Ginny's character in high school. But he is kind of the outsider of that friends group because he can be quite mean to his friends. He does say some things that are uncalled for. But I also think there's a reason for the way he behaves and the things he says. I think that he's going through it as a young teenager, and he's trying to figure out who he is and his spot in the world. And he definitely has a lot of strong emotions, but he just doesn't know how to communicate them effectively. And I think that's what we see that comes across on Matt Press and Ginny in Georgia.
Which definitely reminds me of a lot of people, a lot of characters are going through my head that have that been in that role, and the actors who've done that role. So I definitely think that it's going to be very interesting to see that this outsider has lots of layers. And as a famous ogre once said, their onions blank are like onions. There's layers upon layers upon layers.
That's right. And Matt Press is definitely a layered character. And one of my piece of advice is for anyone who is truly interested in seeing the layers, just lean in. I find when you start to lean in and you watch carefully, you can see that there's a lot more going on than maybe what's being said.
Absolutely. So when you're not working on set, you've been very active with the nonprofit SickKids Foundation. So I commend you as someone that works with a nonprofit organization. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to spend time giving back with the community. So when did you get involved with SickKids?
Actually, SickKids is just one of my favorite organizations. I think I have some personal family history with SickKids, but aside from that, it was just one of the organizations that attracted me the most. And especially for my cameos, I decided to donate any money that I make on Cameo towards SickKids, because for me, what's a 2 minute video? You know, uh, yeah. Yeah, what's a 2 minute cameo to a child that needs help? For me to explain that would take a lot longer than our interview.
Yeah. Don't worry, Danny. We have a lot of time for that. But like the thing is, I've seen a lot of celebrities go on Cameo, and like sometimes there's like they already have like toolbox, and like they already have like a standard, like they've done it so many times it feels like it's been like they feel like robots. At the same time, what do you do to make your cameos so personable and so memorable?
Uh, I'm really good at connecting with people because I'm a person, you know. Aside from it, it's weird being, it's something that I still grapple with today. But there's being a celebrity and then being a human. Like sometimes you talk to celebrities and it's just they feel like they're scripted, and it's very hard for me to get away from just being a person and listening to people. You know, and when you listen to people, you find out everyone is so much more interesting. Pay attention, you know. And it's very easy for me to go on Cameo and have a conversation with someone and talk to them about something that they want to talk about, whether it's private or public, or it's any concerns that they have if they're having a hard day or they just want to laugh. um, it's very easy for me to just do that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Though that's pretty cool because I've ordered some cameos for my mom with from a couple of people from General Hospital. She loves that soap. So I've definitely done a lot for I definitely know about that, but like it's great that you give back and actually make it personable.
I got to tell you though, I'm quite shy. It may not come across like that in my interviews or, but in person, I am quite shy. So sometimes uh, I dread cameos coming in because I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to get up and talk to people. But it is something I'm overcoming. Um, but yeah.
Believe me, it's very tough. I like you have to read a room. Like for me, I always have to read a room before and to adjust my energy level because sometimes you need to have you can be bombastic, but at the same time you need to make sure that you look at the wave and feel the wave and the aura of that room before you make a
100%
move.
said it better myself. Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. So let's talk about social media. So what did you what of your social media choices of Instagram? What chose Instagram over like? And I saw that you're starting to build something with TikTok as well.
Um, to be honest with you, if I wasn't in this industry, I probably wouldn't have social media. I'm just not, I'm a very private person in general, but I also find that this is a great, social media is a great tool to connect with people who appreciate you for who you are and appreciate your work. So that's why I have a TikTok, I have a Twitter. It's really just a way of connecting um, with sort of my fans that watch me and want to see where my career takes me. And yeah, I wouldn't say I'd say I'm more active on Instagram. I think that's my like number one platform to use. But I do have a TikTok and I do have a Twitter.
In all honesty, I give you kudos for TikTok because I cannot get down on TikTok because it would be for me like a biggest loop, like a radical down a rabbit hole of the algorithm that would take control of me. So like I totally understand. I've had guests on this podcast said if it wasn't for their profession, they would not have social media. So I totally understand and respect that, Damien.
Yeah, and I can't keep up. It's like every day there's a new trend or there's a new phrase. Or I remember when Ginny and Georgia first came out, people were commenting a ton of um, a ton of things on my TikTok posts, and I had to Google like, what does this mean and what does that mean, you know? And it was just taking up too much of my time. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, because the thing is, we all have time. We all have some valuable time. We can't just go on wild goose chases.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right, so Damien, we got to start winding down our conversation. So, if you had the opportunity to meet with actors who are looking into like sticking in the field, what advice would you share with them?
My go-to when actors or young actors approach me and ask me for advice is come back in a year. And it's because you when you try to get things done on your own for that amount of time, you'll figure out so many things, and it'll also show that you're dedicated. And so that's one of my pieces of advice that I give actors. And I'd also say that if you trust in yourself and you believe that you have something to offer the world in terms of your craft and your art and your performance, then um, go all in, and it's going to be a long ride, but one that feels rewarding every step of the way.
Absolutely, it is a long ride, no matter where industry you're in. We're all on our respective journeys.
Yes, exactly. And I find it's always the harder the challenge, the better the reward feels.
Absolutely, Damien. Absolutely. So, final question: are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alrighty, so where can they find Ginny in Georgia? And also, where specifically on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram can they find you? What's your username?
My usernames on TikTok is my full name, Damian Romeo. My Instagram handle is Dam Romeo, so DAMMROMEO. And I think my Twitter is the exact same as my Instagram handle. And everyone can watch Ginny in Georgia season 2 on Netflix January 5th. So please, if you're watching this now, mark your calendars.
We will do that. We will do that. So, guys, have you missed an episode of the Sick with Jacob Elyachar Podcast? Visit our channels on Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Spotify, and Spreaker. It's Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And just to let you know, Damien, jakes.shake.com, the blog that started it all, is turning 12 this year. So you can find all of my recaps for America's Got Talent, The Masked Singer, all my music reviews on that website. Damien, thank you so much for taking time in your schedule to talk to me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and I hope that within the next few months I see another PR from you.
All righty, I will make sure to do that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a wonderful day, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.